If wavy ain't wavy, what is he? I keep it chopping the glizzy. Keep it a stack, no kizzy. Don't hit me up, I'm busy. I'm with the chop like a mellow. Popping the kitty, hello. Turning your brain to jello. Mexican plug Ernesto. If wavy ain't wavy, what is he? I keep it chopping.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Talking with Thomas.
What's up,
Wavy
guys?
Tom. We were joined by a special guest today.
How y'all doing?
Neb.
What's going on, guys?
Samuel, the OG. You know what I'm saying. But we're on a little road trip right now to Nashville, and then the rental car had a little compartment right here where it was very convenient for us to make a little video. And you know what I'm saying. Me and him are very is it innovative? Is that the word?
Sure, yeah.
Innovative. And we thought about, like, why not? Like, I got a good camera. Me and him have been talking about doing something like this. Probably y'all probably see something on a larger scale in a little bit, but on a little smaller scale, me and him gonna talk about life a little bit. Actually, I got a couple questions to ask. So, I mean, my social's gonna be down below. His social's gonna be down below. You know where to find us. You know where to ask questions. Like, comment, subscribe. But I feel like if you guys didn't know, me and Neb got our deaconship together. We've been deacon, 7 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
7 years.
Crazy.
7 years in November.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've been getting a lot of questions, and I feel like it's, as my OG, as my thing. See the horse around? That's fire.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yo, take this drive. Like, please do it. The sunset's coming down. I look fire. Neb looks fire. Lou's asleep because he's a clock. Anyways, I feel like we've been getting a lot of hate, deacons especially. We got people in the DMV calling us made in China, whatever. But in general, I feel like deacons in America get a lot of hate and get a lot of flack for, I guess, having quote unquote two lives, or living that, like, just being able to live like normal people, like the rest of boys, men our age do. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you go about your days with that perception in the back of your mind?
I feel like when as a deacon, I'm trying to serve God. I don't really care what nobody say. Like, you hear a lot of backlash. I remember one time I was with a bunch of conrats in Modern, but they were saying the diacons who got their deacon in America, they're deacons. They do come with a diacon, like trying to throw shade and all that. But keeping it buck, we don't live in Ethiopia, and I know we try our best to go ahead and I guess live like we are in Ethiopia, or live like the times are. But times are forming, and I'm not trying to say give up toddler vibes, I guess. But my main thing is I think God knows your heart, so you're gonna try your best to serve God in the best way you know possible, the best way you can. Mm-hmm. And how I serve God, don't look like how you serve God. As long as we're trying the best that we can, our personal abilities, I don't really care. And the same thing as well. I also think you said living a life outside of church. You gotta understand that we live in an everyday society where we still have jobs, we go to school, we have friends. They're gonna be things we want to do. We're not gonna be cooped up in the house. We're not medical. Yeah, we're devoted to God, but my thing is I understand a couple of responsibilities, but the idea that we gotta shun from the world, nah. We can listen to music on the road, right? Mm-hmm. Listen to music, we can enjoy ourselves, and it's just there's still some things, those do's and don'ts, At the same time, live your life and enjoy yourself, man.
I feel honestly, con-outs, or people who know what real deacons are, but they know how it's normally done, or how it what the proper correct deacon looks like when they come from America. So when I get flack from con-outs, when I get flack from people like that, or if I hear stuff like that, not that I don't pay it any mind, but I'm okay, cool, at least these people somewhat, to a certain extent, they have a point. But it's when I hear it from people who aren't deacons, or who live that lifestyle that they so much don't like us living, I'm sitting here wait, so you're getting mad at me for living the life that you're living? And it'd be obviously people on TikTok, or people that be commenting on my videos and stuff like that, I'm sitting here damn, it's crazy, if I wasn't a deacon, you wouldn't be saying this, or if I wasn't a deacon, it wouldn't matter. And my whole point is I don't think that sins should be counted like that. If I do something wrong, and if a non-deacon does something wrong, it should be counted the same way. Before you hold somebody else accountable for their sins, you got to hold yourself accountable too.
Very true.
So it's if you're not doing something that a deacon, being a deacon, all that really does is elevates you in the sense of the role that you serve in the church. But other than that, our sins aren't different. The sin that I commit, the sin that anyone else commits, is the same thing. It doesn't hold any different weight. If I kill somebody, if that person kills somebody, it's the same thing at the end of the day. So it's before you check somebody, you got to check yourself. And if you know what I'm saying, it's I don't understand when people feel some type of way about somebody else's life to that extent. I understand if we're wilding out, whatever, but like it shouldn't be, oh, deacons are wilding out. Yo, Thomas is wilding out, not because he's a deacon, but just because what he's doing is wild. So like that's my whole kill. And I feel like, I mean, you tell me how you feel about this, but I feel like some of the things that other people do get put on us. Like if one deacon does this, that means every deacon does this. Like that kind of, I mean, that happens in real life sometimes, you know, with like, oh, like your brother did, so I know like your older brother did, so you might do it too, type of like perception. But still, like, how do you feel about like, you know, like for example, one deacon does drugs, one deacon like smokes weed, whatever, ABCD. That means everybody smokes weed. That means everybody does this.
You can always argue that we're no one group of people are monoliths. You feel me? Like everybody, when they group, like anyone, they all say black people are a monolith. Or like Habashas even still aren't a monolith. So like, with that being said, I mean, just because I do one bad thing don't mean you do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, like if I, like example, if I like to get drunk, you like to get drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just a wild way to put it, in my opinion. So I feel like generalization doesn't help anybody. If anything, it's kind of just pull people away from the church. Yeah. Like people are just gonna be like, you know what? Like I get hate because of so and so, and I also think it brings friction in like the brotherhood that should be a deacon. I feel like a deacon kind of is like a fraternity essentially. You know what I mean? Like it's a brotherhood, a fraternity. So like we're doing that, it kind of brings like friction because now you got to be like, now I know, and I get picking your brother up, but I feel like at the same time we're all do things differently. So if I like I said, if I like to drink and you personal conviction is you don't drink, right? Okay, but like because I have a drink doesn't mean I'm a sakara, right? Doesn't mean I'm a drunk. It doesn't mean that I can't be able to enjoy myself. So it's just the grouping doesn't help anybody. I think it needs to stop. But then again, I feel like there are a lot of people who are never like set in their ways. And that's never gonna stop. So it's just something you gotta put up with. But it hurts people at the end of the day. I
feel like too, like also going off that, I feel like a lot of people are scared of becoming deacons now, and are like, okay, cool, if that's how it's gonna be, then I don't want to be a deacon. And I'm not saying, obviously I think God picks his deacons. I feel like it's not for everybody, but at the same time it requires felagos, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I feel like when people see like the amount of hate we get, or like and I tell everyone this, like it's a lot of pressure. Like it's like people are like, it's like, oh, like are you, like I think I made a TikTok one time and I was like, if you're not a deacon you wouldn't know, ABCD type of thing, and people were like, well, what do you mean, I'm not saying that it's so much pressure being a deacon, but it's like I said, you know, there are eyes on you wherever you go. Things are over exaggerated when it comes to you. Like the sin that you do, people are gonna take it and over, like I said, exaggerate it. So it's like, how do you, like, my question to you is like, what age do you think people should become deacons nowadays, like based on this information? I know me and you, I mean, I got it when I was 13. You were like what, 15, 16 when you got it? 17. You're 17, something like that. So it's just like, bruh, like I know when I got it, like there wasn't like this kind of perception, but like obviously as I got older, like it kind of started growing and growing more intensely. So like, how do you feel about like deacons getting it at a young age, and what age do you think that people should get it?
So I'm gonna be real with you, I'm not really for like young kids getting it, because I feel like I've seen a lot of times like these young kids, they get told about it, they don't really, you know, get the concept, or like their brain doesn't really grasp the idea of what it is to be a deacon, right? And like responsibility that come with it, and like, you know, there are some things that what's it called, are kind of outlawed essentially, you know what I mean, as a deacon, right? And like controversially, some of the things like, you know, like sex before marriage, other stuff like that, like some kids, like, I mean, they don't really, some young men don't really grasp that. And so like, I'm thinking, I think you got to be at least a senior in high school to really understand, right? I mean, to start learning, I think you can learn anytime. You know what I mean? But like to actually grasp it, and then by the time you're old enough to understand what it is, the responsibilities that entail, and how you can be the best of your abilities to be a deacon, that's when you can get it. And I feel like, I got mine my senior year of high school. And I mean, at the time I knew I was getting myself into. Not to say like, I know you did it, but not to say you didn't know what you were doing. But I feel like nowadays you're seeing kids younger and younger. I was seeing like 8, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds get it. And so with that, I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think we should have 10-year-olds, like 11. I still feel like if we just have a limit to where like you're 16 and 17 and like you gotta sit down with whoever your teacher is, and they're like, yeah, like, no, I know what I'm getting myself into and I'm willing. So
no, for sure.
That's what I feel like.
And I feel like a lot of deacons do end up leaving because of the fact that they don't understand what they're getting themselves into. I mean, I'm not going to say names, but how many people do we know that like don't serve or like have left or whatever? And you can't, like, my thing is you can't quote unquote quit being a deacon. Like there is no such thing. It's like a lifelong thing of like a commitment. So there's no point like in getting it if that's what you're gonna end up doing. I'm not saying that like people won't, like when or kids, I guess, when they get it, they're like, oh cool, I'm not gonna do this when I go to college or stuff like that. But that's just the ultimate reality. That's what happens when people don't like understand the full grasp of like the responsibilities that come with what they're choosing. I mean, most of us watch Spider-Man, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. So it's just like, if you know what power you're getting or like what's being bestowed upon you, you probably wouldn't do it if you know that that's not what you want to do lifelong, like lifetime. It's not like your ultimate goal is not becoming a priest or whatever, like moving up the ranks, stuff like that. And if that's not what you want, I mean, you can still be a deacon, cool, like be a deacon the rest of your life, but at least like you have to do that. So it's just like, it's a shame to see like and I don't blame people like who are forced to do it and then later don't want to do it, because like, well, cool, like you probably when you were 13 you just listen to whatever the hell your parents tell you. You really don't know what you want to do yet. So it's just like, damn, like, okay, well, that's like, you know, that's like a, what's the word for it, like that's just like endless possibilities on like what you could have done with your life. But now it's like you're in this like middle ground of you don't really know what you want to do. But that's,
I feel like also one thing I'll add, like I feel like that's one thing, major thing, parents love the idea of like my son being deacon. And they kind of like, I've seen like some kids be forced to be deacons. It's like, I only understand the magnitude. You know what I mean? So like, that's something that is very toxic. And I feel like we should, that's why I feel like we should wait till they're older. So like they know what they're doing. Because like, again, there are a couple, like we said, we know people who were like real young when they got deacon. And it's because of my son be a deacon, and then like they're out. Like, because they understood like look, like here's the thing, like some people, I mean, honestly, we're being candid here, right? Some people want to have sex before marriage, right? That's their prerogative. I mean, I know church isn't for it, right? At the end of the day, God gave you free will. So that's what they want to live. They don't want to be a deacon anymore, right? Some people aren't, you know, like they realize their role in church, right, is to be a Sunday goer. There's a God that God gave them their purpose isn't to be serving, like serving, or to be leading Kadase, right? Or actually Kadase. And I get that. So I feel like that's why this whole like, my son needs to be this, that type of stuff, like was a negative one, because then you have more kids who are being forced to be deacons, and then once they get like to college, you see it, they're nowhere to be found. And I'm not blaming them, because again, like this wasn't their choice. They didn't want to be that.
Hey man, well, that was our quick. That's why I was tweeting. I feel like we talked for longer than 12 minutes, but yeah, that's our 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, whatever you want to pay. Yo, that's sun. You bro, I know, right? I feel like you can go skiing out here when it's. I mean, actually, maybe probably bush or so.
You're gonna be right in the road.
Yeah, never mind. But I hope you enjoyed that TWT with the TWN feature. Hope you guys enjoyed. Just probably do more of these. Like, I mean, why not? Like, shit. But you might see more like a long version of this, kind of like a podcast that with me and Nev. Stay tuned for that. Social's gonna be down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do what you gotta do. But we'll be out of here.
Peace.
Pikachu diamonds, they yellow. Indian plug, you my fellow. Indian plug, you my Toto. Yeah.